Hey YouTubers and Grandmark on that. So this will be continuing the progress on the 92 Grandmark keys, which I haven't been working on since I want to say late August or early September. That was mainly due to school classes, focusing more on finishing my degree, which I already did in mechanical engineering. So now I could continue back working on this project. So currently, the last time I finished measuring, I had a few issues with the main bore diameter. They were giving me, I believe, too much of a clearance. So the crankshaft is good, but the main bores are the ones that are a little bit too big. And this is mainly because I'm using ARP bolts. Because I decided I didn't want to use the factory bolts, which are already, this engine is from '88, so you do the math. But yeah, so in this video what I'll do is show you the procedure in measuring the main bores and basically setting up the Dow bore gauge, which is pretty much the special tool you need here, and a few micrometers also. So as you can see, the gauge I went with was a Fowler gauge. It's good to 1/10,000. Let me see if I could get. Hopefully you could see it there. So it's basically good to 1/10,000. So I'll show you how to set her up for basically a 302, but you can use any of these any of these parts to actually set up for the bore gauge that you're measuring, or main bore. And that's why you're gonna need a micrometer, because you're gonna need to basically set her off of a known measurement so you can find the difference. So I'll go first with setting up the Dow bore gauge and using the micrometer to set her up. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tighten up the main caps. Since I'm using ARP bolts, the requirements by the company says 3 equal steps up to 70 foot-pounds. So what I'll do is I'll do 15, 45, and then go to 70. But before that, for these bolts, you're going to need to, let me see if there's one. You're going to need to put a lubricant that they sell on the threads, on the washer, and under the head, which I'm going to do that now. And basically, they usually come with the fastener assembly lubricant. But I don't feel this will be enough if you're actually spending your time disassembling and assembling it to actually get the correct measurements. So I actually bought a whole tube that they sell. It's about, I want to say 15. I might be wrong. I'll put the price in the description below. And then it comes with the instructions on how to torque it down. So now I'm going to go based on this at 15, 45, and 70. And the 70 I'm getting here, it says 3 equal steps to 70 foot-pounds. So I'm gonna basically put it so you guys could see the process. Okay, so now that I already have the end caps, the main caps basically, tightened down to 70 foot-pounds, now I'm going to set up the bore gauge, which the reason why you need the micrometer is because the Ford 302, the measurements I usually want are 2.4412 to 2.4420. I mean, I'll put the measurements for the main bore, for the crank main bore diameters in the video. So I already have the setup, as you could well, it's a bit difficult to catch. Well, the thing is, I already have it set at 2.4420. I'm going with the wider end because I know these are a little bit bigger than that. I'm gonna be going a little bit more with the clearance than what I want to. This is mainly due to the block being worn. But the guy that took my engine to the machine shop basically told me not to even worry about it, since I'm gonna be hopefully getting 300 horsepower from this engine, or close to it. I really don't need the factory tolerances. Plus, that I'm going to be probably using 1030 oil for this engine due to living here in Miami, Florida. But yeah, I'm going to set up the camera now so you guys could see how the dowel bore is set up. Okay, since I know my bore should be 2.4420, what I'm going to be using is the 2.4 and then the 0.04 and 0.02. So this should be 2.46. So it's less than 0.5 of a difference, because that's what this dial gauge actually reads to. So now what I'm going to do is set it at 0 in the micrometer, and then based on that I'll continue seeing what the difference is, because I'm going to set this at 0 based on that. So basically the way you read these are, if they're anything to the left, that means it's bigger, so you're going to add that to your 2.442, and if it's to the right, you're going to be subtracting. So you're going to see what I mean by that right now. So I'm gonna set the camera down now so you can see what I mean by saying okay, so what I'm going to be doing is basically I'm gonna put this, I'm a little bit too close to the speaker, I mean to the mic. So what I want to do is put this in until it starts so I'm gonna put it right about there, and I'll explain the reason why now. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but try holding it so it stays steady. So you usually want this smaller gauge to be at 0, and I'm going to set this not really at 0 right now, but that's just, you didn't really need to put that 0. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the micrometer, which, let me put this camera a little bit higher up and down. So what I'm going to, I don't think you're going to be able to see the whole thing, but what I'm going to be doing is setting this at 0. Also make sure your contacts are clean. So I'm trying here so you guys could see. Don't know, it's a little bit difficult to do it one-handed. Let me see. I'll put the camera down real quick so I could place it first. And I got the second camera that I have, so it's gonna be a little of a lesser quality, but you're going to see what I mean by saying it at 0. See? We're hitting it right at 0. You always have to play around here with this so you could get it straight. So once that I already know that it actually goes up to 2, I think. It goes up to 3. So right, you know it's at 0. So now I could start. You really want to prevent the jumping back and forth. But as you can see, I already know at 3 and at 0, it's at 2.442. Now anything to the left, it means it's bigger. Anything to the right means it's smaller. So I already have this set at 2.442. Now I'm going to use that to actually set it up at the engine. So on the engine, before I thought I needed to take several measurements where usually you just want to focus on, it's 90 degrees away from the pouring line of the crank cap. So then it's going to be, instead of like this, it's going to be like that. So I'm going to get 2 measurements on each, and then I'm going to use those measurements to see what my clearance would be. So I'm going to start with the first main cap, and as I go, I'm going to go removing each and every one of them. Reason is because this doesn't really fit, and I don't think it's going to affect that much the readings. You usually want to torque them in order when you're putting in the crank. Okay, so I already finished taking all the measurements needed. What I found was that now they're within factory spec, and I think I know why I had the initial mistake. These were torqued down, I think, the last time to 60 foot-pounds because I had read it online somewhere, but the paper that came with the instructions specifically stated to, let me get away from the sun, to use 70 foot-pounds. So then these are within factory specs, so basically I could already start cleaning the engine block. But before that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap these oil Galley plugs. There's 1, 2. I don't think that one I need to, because this one's held in by the camshaft plate. There's the one in the back is already threaded, so I don't have to worry about that part. So it's mainly this one here, this one here. I'm going to check online real quick to make sure that one I don't need to. But then I still need to put the camshaft plug here, but I'm going to clean the engine before that, and I still need to put the plug that goes here. I already have those, I just haven't installed them because I haven't had the time. So I'm going to first start threading the other plugs, and what I'm going to be doing with this is using grease, regular grease, so none of the no pieces of metal actually go into the engine block. So I think that's going to be the next thing I'm going to do. I will post the measurements in the video in the meantime, so you guys could go seeing what were the results. The only one I didn't really like was the rear one, which was a little bit tight, but not by so much that's gonna cause any issues. So overall, I'm glad that it was an initial mistake that I had. But so you could see. Let me see if I could, so you guys could see here. Yeah. So if you see, there's a 223, so I have it at 4, 25, and then plus 17. 25 plus 17 will give you the 42, so it'll be 2.442 that I'm looking at. So there's already 400s. No. It's 2.4, and then these are 0.025. So 25 and 17 will give you the 42 I'm looking at, and then it's at 0. It lines up here at 0. About. So then I already know this is set up at 2.442. Let's see, can I get, yeah, 2.442. So this was checked to make sure. So this was checked with its standard to make sure it was calibrated, and it was. So I know this wouldn't have any errors. What did happen was that at the end I did confirm with this, and it was off by 1/10,000. It's not gonna really affect the readings. I'll take that into account now when I'm when I'm writing down the measurements. But that could be due to change of temperature. So I wouldn't really be worried about that much of a difference. But yeah, so everything's within spec. So now what I'm gonna continue is doing the oil galley plugs on the engine block. Okay, so I just checked the video online. It's basically these three I will have to tap. The tap I'm going to be using, and the one that's suggested, it's a Core ATM PT. So I already have the tap. This one's a Hansen. I think the one I bought, this should be a different brand. I guess they just rebranded it. So it's a Core 18 NPT. I'll put it on the screen. And I had bought a handle for this, but this doesn't fit. So what I'll be using is a 13mm socket. These are the new ones from Craftsman, the ones that 6 different types of bolts work with. So as you can see, it works. So I'm going to be using grease. My camera battery is a little low, so I'm going to need to replace that. So if the video just cuts, you already know why. So I'm just going to be using regular multi-degree the grease that you can buy at Walmart. I'll put it that way. I'm just going to be using that so the pieces of metal don't go into the engine, and basically continue from there.